Hello there, and welcome to the channel. This is Dizzard. Today we painted Black Widow, and we started with the skin on this one. I typically like to start with a nice red base for my skin. Kind of just helps bring out the shadows sometimes. You can do some thinner coats with the skin. So we started with the bold Pyrite Red for the undertone. Oh, sorry. No, it is the burnt red for the base layer for the skin. And then we go into, again, this is all monument paints. So burnt red, then we do, shadow flesh? Yes, shadow flesh. And then tan flesh for the top layer, just basically hitting the highlights of it. I also use, then for the eyes, later on I'll use the pale flesh, just to kind of like hit the eyes, and because I don't want to use white. Just kind of a little trick I learned, and I think it turns out better. And here we're just painting the hands, and I tried using that red to make the fist, like where the skin folds, to make it darker instead of going back through later with a wash. It worked out pretty well for me, I think. Also, I know I said a Doc Ock video would be posted soon. I painted her up tonight and figured this would be a quicker video to get another one out. But I will work on the Doc Ock video soon. So for the start of the hair, I mixed a purple and red to kind of get that deeper purple. I wanted to have like a really dark base for the hair to kind of show up underneath it, and I was really happy with how it looked. And also, I really liked how that purple hair looked. If I ever did purple hair, I'd probably do this. It looked really cool. No, I'm just saying. Yeah, I really liked how that purple looked. And then we go into the bold Pyrite Red. No, sorry again, Burnt Red. Burnt Red from the purple. Oh yeah, and I missed the V for her skin. I thought that was part of the black suit at first, and then went back through and got that. Let it dry right now. So here I'm using the transparent black because I really wanted like that latex bodysuit, I guess you could say. And I wanted to like use the shine, so I was like, I'm gonna play with the zenithal highlight in here and just use the transparent black to hopefully let the highlights show through, and it ended up working out pretty well for me. It was more of like a reverse highlighting where I had the highlights there already and then painted black around it, and it was an interesting little way to do it, and it worked pretty well. Just basically a lot of layers with the transparent black, and then I went through with kind of a dark gray, dark neutral gray to be exact, and just kind of feather that in, and then I did some black inking to darken up some other areas. And here I'm just finishing up that neck, and I'll let this dry again. Yep, and then here we're going in with the burnt red over the purple on the hair just to build up that red tone. Cause I really wanted like a nice bright red overall for like the highlights of the hair. So it's kind of building up the different layers of the hair. And then I wanted to darken up the boots. I had some overspray from a different project that had some green on her boots, so I went through and just darkened up the boots with a black, and it's a really thin black coat just to re-darken up those boots. And then here I'm going in and just starting to feather in some black to really darken up the underside. So going around and feathering in that black and kind of just blocking out where I want the shine to be for the bodysuit. So yeah, this transparent paint, cause I think I mixed, at this point I was mixing the transparent paint with the dark gray. So I really wanted it to be really watery because I didn't want to go too hard. So really just feathering it in with a really, really, really thin down gray, basically. And it took a lot of layers, but it ended up working out for me, I think. And again, just trying to pinpoint that shine. Make it make sense with lighting and all that, you know? And here I just went with the black ink for the holster and like the thicker parts of those pants. I don't really quite know what they are, to be honest. I kind of just took it as like banding. So I wanted like a nice like actual pure black. So I used the black ink for this, for the holster, the gun, and just that, I guess, belt around her legs. And then kind of doing some black lining for some underlaying shadows. And then I go back into some more feathering to continue to try to darken it up more and more. It was a long process to darken it up. Probably could have just used a darker color, but I wanted to be really careful and not go too dark too quickly. And here, I was just taking a while with what I was doing, so I went with a little bit of a thicker coat to feather stuff in. And this is probably what I should have done to begin with. But I mean, it ended up working out for me. I liked it in the end. And here I went with actually putting on a little bit of highlight in certain areas that I really wanted to be the brightest points. Just kind of shape it more. And here I use a dark warm gray is what I used. And then here I thought I'd use white to really kind of like get like a shine, but it didn't quite work out for me how I was thinking it would, so I ended up going back to using just the gray and covering it back up. And here I'm using that dark warm gray to hit the tops of those boots just to set the boundaries for it, basically. Get a little bit more separation. And here I come with the bold Pyrite Red for one of the top highlights of the hair. And here I mix a little bit of magenta in with it just to get that really, really like the edges. I just want that really bright and like just to show that layered hair. And again, I'm really happy with how the hair came out. It's really nice and layered. And then here I wasn't really happy with how that was looking, so I darkened it back up a little bit, and I kind of go back through and tone some more of the white out, just making the spots a little bit smaller. And here I start doing the top layer of the flesh. This is a tan flesh, just hitting that highlight just to bring up that final skin tone. So here I used Mahogany and Golden Brown to get a base layer for the yellow. Um, I just like the way it looks. I did the same thing with Dark Ox Yellow. I didn't have the mix as good as I did that first time doing a Dark Ox, but it still came out pretty good. And her gauntlets are more of a vibrant yellow than his stuff is, anyways, in my opinion. So it worked out for me. It was hitting all the pieces that are yellow, the belt and the gauntlets, or cuffs, whatever you would like to call them. here we come in with the yellow ochre for the next layer, and I did a little bit of golden yellow in there with it, just to try and get some more contrast between the dark layer and the brighter layer. I went over it with an Agrax Earthshade to try and bring out some of the detail. And then, like, going through, I decided I'm just gonna go ahead and blackline the gauntlets. I like the way it turned out better this way anyway, so it's a little sloppy with it, but I just went over with golden yellow for the final highlight on the gauntlets, and it cleaned it up just fine. So you can be a little bit sloppy with it. Just make sure you let your black ink dry before you go back over it, otherwise it's just going to smear it. Here I'm going with the flesh wash just to kind of do the cheeks and the lips to kind of get a line in between them, just to add some definition to the face. I'm doing a little too much at first, so I had to go back over with my tan flesh to bring the tone back up. Yeah, that's basically it. Real easy to do. It's black and basically a gray highlight. It's black suit and yellow, some red hair. Again, the hair turned out really well. I used bold Pyrite Red for the symbol as well. I forgot about that one. But overall, it came out pretty good. And as always, thanks for watching. And hope to see you on the next one.